I wasn't looking for anything weird that night. I just typed my own name into Instagram because someone told me they couldn't tag me properly, and I thought maybe my account wasn't showing up in search. It happens sometimes, especially with private accounts or when the app glitches. I remember sitting on my bed with the lights off, just the phone lighting up my face, casually scrolling through the results. My account showed up first. Same profile picture, same bio, nothing unusual, but right under it, there was another account. Same name, same spelling, no extra underscores, no numbers. For a second, I thought it was just my account duplicated in search results, but the profile picture was slightly different. It looked like the same photo I use, just zoomed in a little more. I tapped it without thinking too much. The page loaded normally. It wasn't empty. It had posts, quite a few. At first glance, it looked like someone had copied my account. Same selfies, same random pictures of coffee, my desk, even a couple of old photos I had archived months ago. I assumed it was some fake account trying to impersonate me. It was annoying, but not exactly rare. I was about to report it when I noticed something small that made me pause. One of the photos was one I had taken earlier that day but hadn't posted yet. I remember sitting up a little straighter, thinking I must be mixing it up. Maybe I had posted it and forgotten. I went back to my own profile to check. It wasn't there. Not in my feed, not in drafts. I even checked my camera roll to make sure it was the same picture. It was. Same angle, same lighting, same messy background I had been too lazy to clean. I went back to the other account. The post had a timestamp. It said it was uploaded 3 hours ago. That didn't make sense. 3 hours ago, I hadn't even taken the picture yet. I stared at it for a bit, trying to come up with something logical. Maybe I had taken a similar photo earlier and forgot. Maybe I had accidentally posted and deleted it. Maybe someone had access to my account somehow. I checked the caption next. It was something I would write, but I didn't remember writing it. It wasn't anything dramatic, just a normal sentence, slightly off, like someone trying to sound like me but not getting it perfectly right. I reported the account anyway, but Instagram didn't remove it. I tried messaging it out of curiosity. The message went through, but there was no reply. No typing indicator, no scene, nothing. It just stayed there. I told myself it was just a weird coincidence or some kind of glitch and tried to move on. But I didn't sleep properly that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I kept thinking about that one photo. The next morning, the first thing I did was check the account again. It was still there. There was a new post. It was a picture of my outfit for the day, not a random outfit, the exact one I was wearing at that moment. Same shirt, same jeans, even the way the sleeve was slightly folded on one side. The angle of the photo was different, though. It looked like it had been taken from a little farther away, like someone else was standing in the room. The timestamp said it was posted 20 minutes earlier. I hadn't taken any photos that morning. I remember looking down at myself, and then back at the screen, feeling this quiet kind of confusion that hadn't fully turned into panic yet. I walked around my room, checking corners without really knowing what I was looking for. Everything was normal. The door was locked, windows closed. I refreshed the page again. The post was still there. I tried to recreate the picture, thinking maybe I could match the angle or understand how it was taken. But I couldn't. The perspective didn't line up with anywhere in my room. It felt slightly off, like the camera was placed somewhere that didn't exist. That's when I started checking the account more often, not casually, but constantly. Every hour, sometimes every few minutes. It became this thing in the back of my mind that I couldn't ignore. At first, the posts were small things. Where I would go that day. A picture of a cafe I ended up visiting in the evening, posted hours before I actually decided to go. A photo of a friend I hadn't planned to meet but somehow ran into later. I started noticing a pattern. The account wasn't copying what I did. It was ahead of it. I tested it once. I saw a post of me sitting at a specific table in a small place near my college. I hadn't planned to go there at all that day. I made a conscious decision not to go, just to see what would happen. I stayed home longer than usual, tried distracting myself, but by late evening I felt this strange pull to step out. Not even a strong urge, just a quiet thought that kept returning until I gave in. Without thinking too much, I ended up walking in that direction. I didn't realize where I was going until I was already there. And when I walked inside, that same table was empty, waiting. I sat down slowly, already knowing what it would look like from the other side. When I checked the account again, the post matched exactly. That was the first time it felt wrong in a way I couldn't explain. After that, the posts became more specific, not just places or outfits, but moments. A picture of me holding my phone with a cracked screen, posted before I had even dropped it. Later that day, it slipped out of my hand while I was getting off an auto, hitting the ground at the exact angle shown in the photo. I tried to change things again. I started avoiding places, ignoring calls, doing things differently on purpose. But somehow, the end result always aligned with what the account had already posted. It didn't matter how small the detail was. It always happened. At some point, I stopped thinking of it as prediction. It felt more like a sequence I was just moving through. The captions started changing too. They felt more personal, not like something I would write for others, but something directed at me. Short lines that didn't fully make sense unless you already knew what they were referring to. Things like, "You'll understand later," or "This part matters more than you think." I stopped posting on my real account completely. It didn't feel right anymore, but the other one kept updating anyway. Days started blending together. I wasn't sleeping properly. I'd wake up in the middle of the night just to check if there was a new post. Sometimes there was, sometimes there wasn't, but the habit stuck. Refresh, scroll, refresh again. I started noticing small differences between what was posted and what actually happened. Tiny details. The position of objects, the expression on my face, the lighting in a room. It wasn't exactly the same, just close enough to make me question whether I remembered things correctly. One night, there was a post that didn't fit the pattern. It was a photo of me arguing with someone. I couldn't tell who it was. The image was slightly blurred, like it was taken in motion. The caption was just a single sentence that felt too direct. I hadn't argued with anyone that day. But the next evening, it happened. Not in the same place, not with the same clarity, but the feeling of it matched. The tone, the words, the way it ended. It was close enough that it made my chest feel tight in a way I couldn't shake off. After that, the posts got darker, not in an obvious way, but in what they implied. A photo of a hospital corridor, distant enough that you couldn't see details clearly. Another of a bed with the sheets slightly disturbed, like someone had just gotten up. The captions stopped sounding like me at all. They felt like observations. I tried to report the account again, but nothing happened. I tried logging out of Instagram entirely, deleting the app, staying off it for a full day. But the urge to check didn't go away. It just sat there, growing until I gave in and logged back in. The account was still there, and it had a new post. It was my room, empty. Same angle as if someone was standing near the door, looking in. The bed was unmade, the chair slightly pulled out, my phone not visible anywhere. The timestamp said it was uploaded 5 minutes ago. I was sitting on my bed when I saw it. I looked around slowly, trying to match the angle in my head. It didn't make sense. I was there. The room wasn't empty. But the image felt more real than what I was seeing in front of me. I didn't move for a while after that. I just sat there, refreshing the page, waiting for something to change. Nothing did. Then I noticed something else. The follower count on that account was going up. At first, it had been 0, then a few. Now it was increasing steadily. I tapped on the followers list. Some of the usernames looked familiar. People I knew. People who followed my real account. I checked my own profile. My follower count had dropped. Not by much, just a few. But when I refreshed again, it dropped more. I went back to the other account. The numbers were matching. It didn't happen all at once. It was gradual, almost slow enough to ignore if you weren't paying attention. But I was. Comments started appearing under the posts, too. Not many, just a few at first. Short things like, "Hope you're okay," or "Where are you?" from people I recognized. None of them were on my real account. I tried posting something, anything, just to see if people would respond there instead. But the engagement was almost nothing. It felt like I was posting into an empty space. The other account kept growing. That same night, a notification popped up. Live video started. From that account. My hand froze for a second before I tapped it. The screen loaded slowly, buffering for a moment before the video appeared. It was my room. Same angle as the empty photo from before. The camera was positioned near the door, slightly tilted. The lighting was dim, exactly how I keep it at night. The room was empty. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Just a still view of the space I was sitting in, except I wasn't in that frame. Then, the camera shifted slightly. Not a smooth movement, just a small adjustment, like someone had touched it. I felt this quiet pressure in my chest as I looked up from my phone to the actual door of my room. It was closed. I looked back at the screen. The door in the live video was slightly open. Not fully, just enough to show a thin gap of darkness behind it. The viewer count started increasing. Comments began appearing, asking questions, tagging others, reacting in real time. I didn't type anything. I just watched. After a few seconds, the door in the video moved a little more. Not enough to reveal anything, just a subtle change. And then the stream ended. No explanation, no replay available. I sat there for a long time after that, not moving, not refreshing, just holding my phone. Eventually, I opened Instagram again. The account was still there. There was a new post. It was a photo of me, taken from inside my room, from near the door. I was sitting on my bed looking down at my phone, exactly like I had been a few minutes ago. The caption was just one line. It wasn't something I would ever write. It said, "This one's almost done." I don't use Instagram much anymore. I still have my account, but I don't post. I don't scroll either, not like before. But sometimes, without meaning to, I still open the app. And when I do, that account shows up first in search. The follower count is higher now. Higher than mine ever was. I don't check it every day, but it still updates. And lately, the posts don't look like my life anymore. They look like something slightly ahead of it. Just far enough that I can't tell if I'm still the one catching up. If this felt real, that's because it was almost real. I'll see you in the next memory.